Hey, hi, what's going on? How are you? It's Friday. We are reconvening once again to rank 8-bit Nintendo games. Thanks everyone for joining me for this latest installment, episode 132. We've got a fresh batch of games to go through. Suggested by you, the viewer, if you want to figure out how you can become the you in you, the viewer. You can go over to Jeff.Zone for information on how to join the Gerstmann advisory panel today, as well as other tiers of membership and support. You can get an ad-free version of the weekly podcast. You get a weekly bonus podcast. All kinds of cool stuff. Head over there and give it a look. All right. Let's get into it. We have work to do. 694 games on our list here. Harlem Globetrotters at the bottom. They went ahead and announced a new basketball game this week that is going to feature the Harlem Globetrotters. It sent a chill down my spine, this information. But I don't know. The trailer they put out didn't really have any footage in it. They're trying to make like a new old basketball game from the sounds of it. And yeah, it is. It's. I don't know. Acclaim is putting it out, and I bet it'll be like a bootleg NBA Jam with some tricks and stuff because they are putting the Globetrotter. The trailer had Sweet Georgia Brown in it, so it's already got a leg up on the NES game that's here down at the bottom of the list, amongst the riffraff, the flotsam, the jetsam of Raid 2020 and Pyramid. As we work our way up through the top of the list, what do we got here? What's our top 10 looking like? At number 10, we got DuckTales. At number 9, Super Mario Bros. 2. At number 8, River City Ransom. At number 7, Rygar. At number 6, Kirby's Adventure. At number 5, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. At number 4, The Legend of Zelda. At number 3 is Super Mario Brothers. At number 2 is Bionic Commando. And at number 1, Mega Man 2. Huh. That's a solid looking top 10, man. If that's how that's out at the end, I don't, I won't be mad at it. And I don't know. I mean, you can't be mad at science. It's just science. That's like getting mad because the sun came up, which, as someone who got about an hour of sleep last night, I was mad this morning that the sun came up. But here we are. Let's get into it. Let's get into these video games. Up first, Groz wanted to see this one. I don't know what this is. I mean, I know what this is. I feel like the read on this is that it's just the same game again. I remember that being the criticism thrown at it, but I don't know that I've ever actually seen it for myself. It's from your friends at Konami. And it's Top Gun, the second mission. An emergency call forces Top Gun hero Maverick to prepare for another enemy. I feel like the first game didn't really deal with the whole Maverick thing, right? It was just like, it was called Top Gun, but it was just jets. Find and destroy enemy secret weapons. Maverick faces a stronger enemy now. They just kind of did the Ratchet and Clank 2 thing of like, hey, we recolored the HUD and put it back out there. No, this actually does look a little like a fair bit different from the first game. I don't believe there's any kind of upside down shenanigans, in a post afterburner world. So we got a one-player game, we got a one-player versus game, and a two-player goes, and then this just says mode. You're getting so moded. All right. That's fine. Oh. That was some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ass sounding digital sound. I'm down to destroy the enemy's new high-tech bomber. Yeah, I wonder if normal will be flies like a plane. Yeah, we can pick missiles. We can take some AIM 9s and get 60 of them, but they're probably not as strong as these AIM 7s, and they're definitely not as strong as these AIM 54s. Let's take some Sidewinders. We'll take a bunch of them. Weird that the reticle is on screen the whole time you're doing that. Little aircraft carrier takeoff sequence here. Do I have to take off, or is it going to do it? It's going to do it. Okay. This is the most I can turn. Oh, it's so weirdly fast and skittery. The default controls also are not fly like a plane. It is this is down, this is up. Oh, okay. We figured out how to do a barrel roll. I'm trying to shoot missiles here, man. This seems like a little less like Top Gun and a little more like a bad Afterburner. I was trying to shoot that missile. This is... Well, it's interesting that this isn't just the first game again. I mean, because again, that I feel like was the wrap on this game. Like everything I remember about this game is it just being kind of a you know... I remember the discussion being that it's just the same thing. So I guess it's interesting that it's not that, but this seems, like I said, like bad Afterburner. I have not fired a missile yet. I'm hitting this A button. Oh, that's a speed button. So I gotta, okay, so you can hold down these controls are, so if I hold down A, you go faster. If I hold down the button, I get guns. If I'm locked onto something and let off and tap the button, that will then fire a missile. These are bad controls. No pause. Select doesn't seem to do anything. Thought maybe I would have some chaff or something. How do I do a barrel roll? I feel like I got a couple, but I'm not immediately clear on how to do them. I assume it has something to do with the throttle button. Sure, I guess I got hit by something. Game over. Oh. Was that Tom Cruise that said that? Probably, right? I mean, they probably got him to... Hail Xenu is what he said there at the end. Maybe we'll take the Sparrows, because I feel like I'm not sinking those fucking subs or boats or whatever those things are. It's weird, man. The controls actually feel even worse somehow with with the stick going the right direction. Like it feels like it's running at like comically fast. Like when I hold down the speed button. Oh, what the fuck, man? Like, this is fun. Can I crash? There's no altitude indicator on the screen. Here we are gaming. In case you're wondering why Top Gun: The Second Mission has not made a reappearance on the Nintendo Switch online service, here it is. Oh, it's like we're watching Pokemon out here. All right, what do I got to... I can't right myself. It just because I turned upside down. Now I'm upside down. If I want to go right, I gotta like be right side up. I gotta go back this way. This is the flight model in this game. Let's say flawed. And then somehow there, I figured out how to do that. Press select to pause the combat. Yeah, that doesn't seem to work. Like the instruction manual straight up says hit select to pause, but that does not happen. I'm not sure how I'm doing that. Like it seems to happen in conjunction with me pushing the fire button, but I don't, that seems crazy. Took that boat out with my guns, man. Okay, let's hit the jets to get further away. Oh, okay. All right, we just left that dude behind. Use combat skills. But are they on cooldown? Do I push like 2 for that? Push 2 for combat? You said the enemy was at 12 o'clock, and then all of a sudden there were dudes behind me. The intel is bad. Ah! Missiles!
Game over.
Double tap left to right to do the manual. I feel like I was trying to do that. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I just need to use combat skills. Yeah, okay. The double tap works. I love that. What a dumb game. So if I'm flying upside down and I do a barrel roll, it doesn't like then correct me and have me fly. Like I can't. Like if I'm flying in this direction, if that's even a real thing. Wait, did that? All right, enemy at 12 o'clock. I used my combat skills there. Yeah, your guns are pretty powerful in this. I was not giving them any credit initially because I figured like, you know, what are they gonna do? Ah, man. It's weird there. When a boat appears, you stop being able to turn. Like it permanently flattens. Wait, no. Yeah, it permanently flattens the ground there for a little bit. Or not? What? Now it's not? Yeah, no. Now it is doing that. Like when you're trying to shoot the boats down, it kind of locks you in place a bit. Fuck. This game's a pain in the ass, man. This isn't, I don't know, man. This is not. It's interesting because they're trying to give you something that more closely resembles a flight sim level of like play area, right? Like my radar is a full radar of sorts, but like the game is so far removed from a sense of place or altitude or anything like that, that the whole thing just feels unbelievably fake. What is the versus mode? Boris Buzz Bob Bombzinski is a chief warrant officer. Oh, see, we only get 9 missiles for this one. Or 7 or 5. Yes, from the same company that brought you every name in Snake's Revenge. Oh. Okay. I'd say that I feel like I'm improving as we play more of this, but I don't know that that's the truth. Apparently, I cannot fire missiles while doing a barrel roll. I feel like they don't really give you a ton of time to deal with incoming missiles. And I feel like sometimes I am shooting them out of the air, and sometimes I feel like I am putting bullets where the missiles are, and they're just not blowing up. Like, it just feels really inconsistent. This whole game, I would say, feels incredibly inconsistent. And very, again, skittery with the movement. Obviously, you don't have an analog controller at your disposal. But it's like they kind of want it both ways, like, and I don't feel like they're doing good at either. Like, they wanted to make something that was closer to a flight sim level of, again, you kind of are... you're given this radar, you're given all this stuff, but at the same time, like, they kind of just made bad Afterburner. I feel like I'm not shooting those missiles out of the air. Maybe you just can't. Maybe I'm just wrong. But yeah, when you hold down the speed button, the game just feels like something's wrong with it. That guy just unloaded one up close, and that was that. Let's try one more. Was it one more? This feels like a worse game in every way over the original, which I think is, like not an amazing, like, jet game either, but it does have, like, I don't know, it does have something of a sense of speed to it. But again, it just, the sense of speed is maybe the most broken feeling part about it. It feels like a game where you needed maybe one or two more options. Like if I had flares, or something, because you are, the radar does show you missiles coming at you from behind, which I think, for a game of this kind of persuasion is maybe a little more depth than you might be looking for. It just feels like they couldn't decide what they wanted this to be. Like at times it definitely feels like they wanted something a little more like a flight sim or something, and then at times it feels like they just wanted to make a shitty arcade game. Which I guess you could say the same thing about the first Top Gun as well. Like, that game is kind of a strange video game in the pantheon of jet games. The things they ask of the player in that original game, as far as like landing and all of that sort of stuff. You know, they wanted to make it something more than just... See, there, I shot that guy's missile out of the air. Yeah, maybe I just... Nah, see, you can't even get away from it, really. It's like you don't have the turning radius. I guess I was going pretty fast there, so maybe that's probably not helping. Oh, sent one right up my tailpipe. Ah!
Game over.
So this game is just weird. Let's do the versus mode one more time and then just... It just feels crazy. Like, this game feels crazy. The decisions they make... Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Top Gun. Tom Cruise. Bite my ass, Tom Cruise. All right. Top Gun, the original, I feel like does an okay job of like kind of carving out its specific thing, you know? Like, I would not take it over a game like Afterburner. I would not take it over pure, you know, more pure flight sims of the era, like, you know, an F-15 Strike Eagle, at least the good versions of Strike Eagle. The NES version, you know. For either of those kind of ends, right? But in terms of a game that's kind of like mixing in the middle, I think Top Gun does a really good job of mixing those things and blending that stuff together. This game, again, it just feels misguided. I don't know. It feels like it's off. It feels very, again, like they're not really sure what they wanted to make here. It feels like they maybe pulled it in a few different directions, and you know that the concept is just not up to that. Again, a couple more options. If you had some flares to make missiles go away, if you had, you know, a better ability to just kind of like shoot those missiles out of the air, because that aspect of this feels really inconsistent. And so if that was just cleaned up a little bit, if the throttle was a little more, I don't know, tame or something, like the speed burst that you get out of holding down the A button is so out of control, and there's no limit to it. It's not like you know, like in Afterburner, they, you know, if you kicked in the afterburners, they would last for a while and then dip down, and you'd have to do it again to kind of get it going, and so it would give you reasons to try to kind of fly at multiple speeds. Here it just feels, I don't know, like the game almost feels broken with the way that it runs, and what they're asking of you, you know, and the idea that you can't do a bank turn and fly a different direction, like the direction you're flying being governed by, well, yeah, I don't know, like the way that you can kind of like fly upside down, but you can't roll over to fly right side up without just turning back the other way, and the lack of altitude, like it just feels like poorly thought out in a lot of ways. And I think that stuff is not good. It's no Top Gun. You'd be better off with a copy of David Crane's A Boy and His Blob, Trouble on Blobolonia. Russian Attack is a better game. You'd be better off with a copy of Arkanoid. Snow Solstice, the quest for the Staff of Deimos. Is Top Gun the second mission better or worse than Dino Wars, the first mission? Destruction of Spondulus. No, it's not as... Dino Wars is a slightly better game. It's no Wood and Water Rage. You'd be better off playing Melion's Secret Castle. Milan? But it's probably kind of in here-ish. It's no Wrath of the Black Manta. But it's better than Alex DeMeo's Race America. It is better than Super Sprint. A great arcade game, but this NES version, again, if you don't remember, this version was so brain dead easy. This is our new number 279. It's kind of impressive that they managed to, like, there is a sense of speed in this game that you might not expect out of the console, you know? But at what cost? There you have it. Top Gun, the second mission. All right, next up, Daniel wanted to see this next one. I don't know. Is this technically an unlicensed? No, okay, Jalico put this out. I would have thought that this would have been an unlicensed video game. This is an arcade classic, an absolute fucking banger. But I don't know if this version's gonna really... Cyberball.
Welcome to Cyberball.
Okay. It's got the speech, at least. Oh, this music is perhaps not as good as the original. Cyberball is a great arcade game of football. And it just automatically went down to options for me, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, this was a fantastic arcade game. We're gonna watch this demo a little bit. I want to see a play go down to see what we're really in for. Font work pretty on brand for... Okay, yeah, that's a little... Yeah. No audio in the demo, I guess, huh? Okay. Oh, this is... Yeah, that looks okay, I guess.
Welcome to Cyberball.
I pretty distinctly hit options.
Welcome to Cyberball.
There we go. Human player highlight. Okay. Not a lot of options. It doesn't really need them. Alright. So the story here is this is football with robots. The ball is a bomb, so instead of there being like a turnover on fourth down, if you can't get the play, if you cannot cross the midline of the field in a certain number of plays, eventually the heat of the ball goes up to the point where it just blows up. So the ball right now, it's cool. So that noise is supposed to be, I think it will, that the beeping noise will pick up with the, oh geez. Intentional grounding. So now the ball is warm. And so you get this constant ping that's the temperature of the ball that in the arcade version works out pretty well because it's relatively subdued and in the background. Here, when it's one of the only sound effects you hear, it's a little worse. Was that an interception? Fuck. So they, yeah, they're on the 42-yard line. I think that means they need to go. Do they need to go 42 yards to defuse the ball? It says 42 defuse. I assume. Oh, I guess they're over the so it's the 50-yard mark is basically where you defuse at. So basically it means they need to score or they're done. This is this is not a great version of this game. Ball's hot. Critical. So they pretty much have to score here, or the ball will blow up. Like that. The player was destroyed. So some versions, so the original version of the game didn't really do anything more than that. Later versions, you see with the team funds at the bottom, you would buy player upgrades, and if players blew up, you would have to pay to replace them. And so different versions of Cyberball have tried to do different things around that idea. Intercepted again. Great. Dude, this sucks. Did we do damage to the quarterback there? It looked like he was sparking. Fool, you must be sparking. Yeah, he's smoking a little bit there. Hot ball. I'm going to keep calling the blitz. Let's try and complete a pass to one of my players instead of one of theirs. So did I catch that and then immediately go out of bounds? Is that what happened? Yeah. We'll run the option. 6 periods, because it's the future. What, you think you'd have 4 quarters? No, it's the future. I was going to say, if they don't have the robot lady saying touchdown, then why did they spend any money on... Okay, so automatic critical ball for your 2-point, for your conversions. Conversion good. For 2 points, it would say. The robot lady. I think you have to run it in for that, right? I forget. This game's funny. I don't know. Like, this is, you know, the essence, the general... You get a whiff of Cyberball here, but it's not... This isn't the version you should be playing. This is a bummer. I remember the Genesis version of this being pretty good. The Genesis version is funny because that's the version that they claimed was going to have modem support on the Genesis. That's damn near a safety. Blitz again. Get him. They blew up the quarterback. So on to safety, we get the ball back, just like real football. The size and the size of the field is really weird here. Like this is just a strange version of the game. Well, overall, like the field is so small, and the Cyberball field was never large, but like it never felt this small. I assume this is a case where, like, this version of the game was originally going to be published by Tengen and then, like, post-lawsuit and all the other weird shit that happened. Like, they ended up just farming it off to Jalico, and so this game probably wasn't developed in 92, even though it was shipped in 92. I bet this game sat on the shelf for at least a year. Reserve quarterback replaces destroyed robot. Material, plastic, speed, slow. So yeah, like they tried to do, you know, some sort of like, you know, you earn money to upgrade the players and stuff. But as this was originally an arcade game, they did that in, what is it, like Tournament Cyberball, which was the kind of update that they did. But they never really made good on that concept. I feel like that's the concept that all of these games try, though. You know, and this was maybe, you know, the only one of these that went to arcades, but I think when you go and look at like any number of ZX Spectrum or Amiga futuristic fucking murder robot sports games, it's always like, you gotta get money. Like, you get money in the middle of the game because the future is crazy. And you use that money to upgrade your dudes. I got $77,500. But I don't see any place to spend it. Because that was something they eventually added where like you would push down, like you were going to the team funds, you would push down and there would be like an upgrade screen, so you could kind of spend that money whenever. But that wasn't until the second Cyberball game. Which you could play this game like 4-player and stuff. Like it's a neat fucking arcade game. It's a really cool arcade cabinet. Also, it's got 2 screens on it, and the 2 teams kind of exist on different screens. And so like it's neat. This is a neat game that I think, you know, games like NFL Blitz and even like super high impact football and some of the other stuff that we would see, you know, not that far after the release of Cyberball originally would sort of would sort of replace it as far as like, you know, the need for an arcade football game and what have you. This is the cabinet back to back or side to side. It's like at an angle. It's like diagonals. They're not even side by side. They're kind of they're little 45-degree angles off of each other. Oops. Okay.
End of food.
That was her saying end of period, I think, but that is the most grimy voice sample. I have yet to find a reason to not just call this play.
Touchdown.
It takes forever, man. Just kick the ball. Just do it. A lot of really rotten sound effects. Yeah, this is a pretty crummy version of this game. Like, they've reduced the pace of this to like a pretty embarrassing low. I think because this is based off the original Cyberball and not the follow-up, which would be weird because that game certainly existed by 92. Which I think lends credence to, like, this game was probably not developed in 92 because they would have put more of the tournament Cyberball stuff into it. I think I can only spend funds when a player gets blown up. I think if they blow up my quarterback, I think I might get an option to buy like a better one. You saw when they had to substitute their quarterback, it was like plastic and slow. I think I can, if I choose, I can buy one that is... Oh, come on, I'm like standing right there. Like, they intercepted so many fucking passes from me. The idea that I was like right there in line. But like, the Tengen name is on this game at boot, so I have to assume that this was produced somewhere in the same period as a lot of the other Tengen NES releases. All diffused. The original game has good music and stuff too. Like, this is just such a disappointing version of the game. And also, no real reason to stop calling this specific passing play. I was trying to run. I was trying to go to the fucking running back there. Whatever. Kill that quarterback. He's ready to blow up. Blow up the quarterback. Blow up the quarterback. Kill him. Kill him. They ain't having it anymore. There's no halftime show in this. I can't imagine there is, but maybe it's like a halftime upgrade. Or, yeah, I don't know. The other thing I'll say about this is that it takes forever. This takes forever. This takes forever. Yeah, you're just not gonna, okay, that's, okay.
End of food.
I'm tired.
It just seems unfinished. There we go. Yeah, look at this. Look at this.
More to food.
How much of the clock can I run down sitting on this screen? Every play. Every play that's not an incomplete pass.
Touchdown.
I bet this game seems extra insane if you never saw the arcade original. I bet if this was your only ever exposure to Cyberball, it would be like just fucking barely comprehensible. But as someone with a good working knowledge of Cyberball, let me tell you, this is basically Cyberball but bad. This is a bad version of Cyberball. I bet there are a lot of home ports of Cyberball that are actually no good. Just by virtue of it being a late 80s game and not necessarily the most popular. See, I want them to blow up the quarterback again. Yeah. He could go all the.
Touchdown.
Such a bizarre, it's just the audio, just such a bizarre mix of digital audio and synthesized bits. Like, just all of it is so all over the place. This whole thing is so all over the place. And that's out of bounds, apparently. I feel like I had at least like one more step there before I would have been out of bounds, but like that stuff is weird. It's just, this is an awkward fucking video game. We've got to get it across the D line. We're flowing on the D line. Over here. I figured you should have come up with something else other than the beeping noise for this version of the game if you couldn't make it sound good. Because again, like it's a good, it lends tension to the game, right? Like the ball is literally ticking because it's a bomb. And as it gets closer and closer to going critical, like it picks up pace and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's serious. And that like works. Here, where it all sounds like garbage ass bleeps and bloops, it just does not work. It just does not work. How does it go from cool straight to critical? So it's always critical on the extra point attempt. When you're going for the conversion, it's always critical. You're guessing fumbling is not a thing. So you can fumble on an explosion. If you tackle a player and he blows up, not because the ball is critical, but like right here, I think those can be, maybe not here, maybe not in this version of the game, but I feel like those are situations where there can, okay, so I recovered the ball there, like that's, okay, so that's, so maybe that was a fumble and a recovery there, maybe they just count that as a turnover, because the ball wasn't critical there, but I did blow up the quarterback. Plastic, slow. We made it to the 5th period. I mean, we're almost... I kind of want to see what happens when you finish a game. I feel like I kind of need to know. We'll try to run the clock out on every possession as best we can to accelerate this process, because Jesus. Feels like just kind of similar to NFL Blitz, like maybe the best thing you can do is bust up the play. So if I take this guy here and try to prevent this receiver from getting out there, he gets out there pretty fast. Actually gets out there very fast. But on the other side of the field, I was able to stop that guy from getting out there. Bum, bang, bang. You're almost better off stopping just before the 50-yard line so that you kind of get a free play. You defuse the ball at the 50-yard line. So now we're already over it. So this is kind of like you gotta score, you know? Oh, the timer does not stop on an incomplete pass, huh? Okay.
Touchdown.
Happiness is a warm ball. They don't need to see the yard markers either. Like, the field is so small, like, you don't really need, like, oh, that's the 20? Like, it's that's something the original game did, but it did it much faster. And I want to say, I guess it did do it at on every play, but maybe when it did it, the players were already on the field, so just kind of like, and then the play would start like right after, maybe? The pacing of this is the shits. On top of everything else, right? Like, it's just... It doesn't look like an NES game. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of... Yeah, that's... I'm kind of with you. It feels pretty... It does not... Yeah, the definition on the players and stuff like that is not awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah, the original game, I think, especially for its era, I think is a great looking video game. Like the definition on just like the receivers are like these super lithe figures, these robots compared to the other ones, and they have baskets instead of arms because they're just catching the ball, and like it's just, you can sort of see that here if you know what you're looking for, you know. Oops. All right, final period. And since we have the whole field to traverse, we can really run out the clock pretty well here, I think. Yeah, interception. Damn it. Damn it, because it's harder to run the clock out when you're on defense. Why do we have the team funds on display? Is a good question. That's something that, weirdly enough, was kind of an issue with the original arcade version, because it didn't have kind of mid-game upgrades for the players. Like, there was no real way to spend the money, I believe, other than if one of your players got destroyed, you could then opt for a higher quality replacement. And then the follow-up to the game, Tournament Cyberball, was better about, like, you could just spend those upgrade dollars kind of whenever. Or more frequently, without having to wait for a player to explode. And so you would upgrade your team that way. Okay. Up by 17 with 43 seconds left to play. Feeling okay. Nice warm ball.
Ball defused.
I mean, we got to try to score one more time. I can't just... Hooray.
Touchdown.
They blew up my quarterback. But now they're all dead. Yeah. This is a thing that they did at the end of the arcade game, but did not take nearly this fucking long.
End of period. Game over. Welcome to Cyberball.
Nothing. Back to the screen. That's grimy. Well, so what? Where's this coach screen? Where's that? Is that only when you pick advanced? Let's check real quick here.
Welcome to Cyberball.
No, what the fuck? I didn't do any of this. Okay. No, did we pick the opposing coach in the... No, because I don't think we even had to pick a team, did we? Strength, passing game, the Moscow Machine. Did we pick it? Yeah, I guess. All right. All right, Cyberball. I mean, how could you not pick the Moscow Machine? So you can tell it's future sports. I did not pick the Moscow Machine. I picked because it said I was the Crash or something like that when we were playing. So I think on Rookie it skips over some of that stuff, but the demo does show that selection stuff. Man, this one's tough, man, because I love Cyberball. I love Cyberball. It's a great arcade game. The pizza place that I went to a lot had it for a very long time. And so I played a lot of fucking Cyberball. To the point where I understood some of the nuance between the different versions of the game when they put out the upgrade, and I was like, oh, they changed all this stuff. And much like the later NFL Blitz games, there's a part of the Cyberball, the upgraded Cyberball that I was like, they've done too much. they've made it too real. I don't like it as much anymore. Yeah, this is a terrible video game, man. I appreciate that they digitized audio from the arcade cabinet and just play back the samples of the lady saying "Welcome to Cyberball," because it is actually kind of a clutch part of that game. But the thing they're missing is actually because she would talk. When you scored a conversion, it would be conversion good for 1 point. But if you ran it in, it was conversion good for 2 points. And it was like almost like she was surprised that you ran it in. Yikes, man. Fucking yikes. I mean, it's no Dino Wars destruction of a spawned Wylus. It's no Millen's Secret Castle. That's for damn sure. Snake's Revenge is a better game. Toxic Crusaders is a better game. It's hard. The thing you have to separate is because I know what this game can be. I know what this game really is. And in some sick way, that probably gives me a leg up on enjoying this version of the game because it's still kind of Cyberball somewhere underneath, somewhere in the middle of all of that, right? But when we let the science speak, the science responds and says, I look at the science and I say, science, what do you think about Cyberball? And science responds and it says, this game sucks shit. And it hurts. The truth hurts sometimes. That's the problem. It's science. Science doesn't care about your feelings. Fantasy Zone's a better game. Yo Noid, definitely a better game. You'd be better off with a copy of Renegade. Superman's better. You'd be better off with a copy of the Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. Break Time, the National Pool Tour is a better game. The Pradicus Conflict is a better game. Adventures in the Magic Kingdom is a better game. This garbage-ass port of Tubin is a better game. You would be better served by a copy of Alfred Chicken. But like, is it better or worse than Dash Galaxy and Alien Asylum? Right? I mean, Dash Galaxy is the pits, it's the absolute pits, man. No, this game's worse, man. You have 4 plays and one of them works every time. Like, it just to the point where the AI was doing it back to me. We were both just calling the same play and making the same pass every time. Fuck this game. Yeah, man. Cyberball is such a cool game. And this is so not a cool game. Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular is a better game. Is Cyberball better or worse than Super Pitfall? I guess it's worse. I guess it's worse. It's worse than The Last Ninja. It's worse than Rocket Ranger. It's better than Mermaids of Atlantis, The Riddle of the Magic Bubble / Bubble Bath Babes. It's better than that. It's worse than Cybernoid the Fighting Machine. It's It's better than Daydreamin' Davy. I mean, this game is a real, but I don't know. Is it better or worse than Monopoly? It's worse than Monopoly. Is it better or worse than Bo Jackson Baseball? It's better than Major League Baseball. It's better than Blackjack. It's better than Solitaire. Is it better or worse than Bo Jackson Baseball? It's slightly better. It's close, but it is a better game. It's our new number 608. What a mess. What a mess. Yeah, I bet that version of the game was not completed, was not like developed in 1992. I bet it was left over from whatever, Tengen was doing, whatever Atari was doing, publishing unlicensed video games, and then, the lawsuit probably got in the way of a lot of that stuff for a while, and then on the other end of that, they licensed Cyberball out to Jalico, who was just like, sure, we'll publish that. It's a finished video game. I bet Jalico just got a finished video game and just distributed, like put it on shelves. Like, I bet that's how that went down. Maybe I'm wrong, but I bet that's how that went. Next up, Tim wanted to see this game. It's more jets, man. Activision. Ugh. You're home for flying jets, I guess. Here it is. Stealth ATF. Some real bad music. It sounds like two different lines happening at slightly different times. Radio station tuned between two stations. All right, Imagineering did this one. So get ready for that. A Gary and Dan Kitchen joint. Russell, you knocked it out of the park on the soundtrack here. Shadow from Pinnacle. The Middle East. Engage and destroy approaching enemy force of 4 fighters. This is your first real mission, rookie. Watch your 6. That's how jet guys talk. This is a really bass heavy, this is a real muscular soundtrack. I pushed start and it just says stealth. I must have engaged stealth. Alright, I don't really see any speed indicator here. Select is our pause. Oh. Max altitude. I can hit the A button to make the sound of a guy banging on a garbage can. Not since Xanac have we had such good fucking garbage can bang noises. I don't think I'm doing any of this. Oh, apparently I am. Yeah, good to loop this. Oh, I get to do mission 1 again because I couldn't land the plane. Like, I don't think I do anything here. Well, no, because the landing gear's still down. Okay, I don't know. If we pause and unpause, it'll toggle between music and sound effects. I like that when I do that little move, when I pull the little, like, flip upside down maneuver, for some reason their plane is already, like, magically flying away from me. I got 2 missiles left. Can't waste them like that. Wait, why are there more? There, we got a couple flying directly at us. That's... Oh, okay. Nope, nope. No! No! Okay, we are flying over the landing area. We're just gonna try this again? Oh, it'll just loop forever, huh? I thought maybe that map at the bottom was indicating something. Oh, this is coming in a little too. A speeds up, B slows down. Felt like I was going pretty slow. Music's all right. I don't know. This game's not great, but you know, for a game that does do a better job of kind of capturing the basics of flight sim type stuff, you know, you could certainly do worse than this. Yeah, when I push start and turn on the stealth, it makes my radar drop out. So I assume... I mean, that was always the thing, right? It's like, oh, if you go stealth mode, you can't use a radar. I don't know if that's a real... that's probably not a real jet thing. But I feel like that's been a video game thing. If not a movie thing. Sometimes it feels like that lock-on target will appear from a great distance away, and sometimes it feels like it takes forever to show up and is very fleeting. The planes don't... The enemy planes don't respond the way you think they should when you pilot, like, you know, as you try to dogfight them, like, it just... To try to get them in my sights for guns feels very... I don't know, impossible. Lucky, maybe is the word. It's a decent looking jet when it flies past you like that, you know? Like, it's Not the smoothest animation or whatever, but like, that's kind of neat. I don't know. That works okay. But I feel like normal dogfight tactics don't work super well here. It just feels bad. It feels off. And now we're out of missiles. So we're just fucked. I don't know. Like, I can't get these guys in my sights to shoot them with the guns. Like, you need, you know, to do, like, dogfighting, to do this type of fucking game, you need to be able to control your speed. And you can't. There's no indicator on screen at all about speed. The only really button you have is the start button, which activates stealth. And so, yeah, man, this is... For as okay as this game does on a few presentation things, it's actually super fucked. It's actually way worse than it seems. Just in terms of how it feels and controls and everything, it feels so far off from what a game like this should feel like. Even at a low frame rate, even on a platform like this, like, it just, if you feel completely out of sorts, like, it just your ability to get these guys where you want them, just to create just a slight bit of separation so you can kind of slot in behind them and gun them down. Like, it just doesn't work. And sometimes the sense of speed is really messy. When you're pointed at the ground there was a few spots where it looked like the game almost froze. Okay, there. We managed to kind of get a... I don't know. The landing gear automatically comes out when you get to a certain angle. I feel like I want one more shot at trying to land that fucking plane. So that's what you do. I don't turn around to go get them. I just fly off the screen and they will respawn coming at me. And that is how you get your second shot at shooting them. Like, that's not great either. That's not great. This is not great. I basically just keep flying in this direction. You see them scroll off the bottom of my radar, reappear at the top. Like we're flying around a Super Mario Galaxy-sized planet. The lock-on is so fleeting. Like, you really gotta be ready to hit that fucking button, man. Like, this makes this game even dumber. That this is how you get an angle on them. You just don't turn. Like, this game actually sucks. This game actually sucks. It is a secret suck. Not so secret. Not so secret, really. Okay, we're going down too fast. No, we're going to do it. Wolfman from Zebra. Bring honor to the squadron in Eastern Europe. Hey, baby, it's the Wolfman. I like that this is basically the same song, but different. This game's bad. I like a few things about it. Honestly, like there's a little bit to like here. Easy. Zombie, it's Marauder. We need you to go to Libya and shoot down 8 jets. Let's make some crazy money. Wait. It's a night mission. This is the serious music. Ah! Okay. I don't know, man. Just make it loop. I mean, you asked me to make a really short little musical thing. What do you know? The fate of the free world is in your hands. Yeah, Libya. Back when the wars and military operations meant something, am I right? Anyway, that's Stealth ATF. It's a poor from like there are moments here where you like it feels like a pretty decent flight simulator. You know, it's giving you a functional radar, it is giving you altitude, it is giving you, you know, like a proper, I don't know, environment to fly around, seemingly. Which compared to Top Gun Second Mission is, you know, that game is a weird kind of disaster. However, the way they want you to engage with the enemy here, I think, is pretty poor. It feels like they kind of papered over a lot of the flaws in their like simulation, if you will, with just like, okay, make it so it wraps around so the planes keep coming at you forever, so you can, until you shoot down 8 of them, you know. And so having that stuff wrap around like that seems like the only way for you to get a shot on your target, because you don't have any good speed control. Normally in a dogfight, in a video game dogfight, though I don't know. I flew an Italian stunt jet once. I need to get a VCR so I can digitize that tape so you can see me flying a plane. You slow down so that you can get a better turning radius, so that you can get an angle on a guy. So, you know, like there are tactics, and a lot of those tactics involve you being able to manipulate the throttle. And so removing that from the equation, you end up kind of stunting the entire procedure. You know, you end up kind of like, you end up ruining the rest of it, if that makes any sense. Like they come so far, and then to leave that out completely, which makes sense because the number of buttons you have available and all of that other stuff, but to leave that out, I think really hampers its ability to feel like you're actually dogfighting or actually doing anything that approaches reality. And it makes it feel even dumber than a dumbed down arcade approach to flight, like the original Top Gun, for example. Or any number of other just like, you know, hey, fucking blow up jets, who cares kind of game. The missile locks are really fleeting. Like, you know, you should have, in addition to your reticle, you should always have that larger box of like, hey, anything in this box, you can paint that target and lock onto it. Like, not having that and having it feels almost arbitrary, the distance you need to be from your crosshairs for a lock-on to occur, and then once it does occur, it feels like it's gone like that. And so that aspect of it feels very broken. Again, I'm not talking about this in a reality type sense. I mean, just like in terms of just like the things you want to do in a video game when you're flying a fucking plane. Like, this is just like they cut themselves off like, at the knees in a couple of different ways. And it's stuff that feels like it would have been mostly doable from a technology standpoint. You know, like they'd have to figure out the control stuff would be weird if you wanted to do speed. That would be a lot of work, and you'd have to figure out where that goes on the controller and all of that, right? But yeah, it feels very like 2/3 of a thought, and they don't get the rest of the way there in a way that makes the first 2/3 way worse than it would have been otherwise. And so the whole thing kind of just crumbles under that, you know. The music, I appreciate also that it has different music for the different stages. which I would not have expected from a game of this nature or whatever. It just feels like it would be very like lazily kind of thrown in. Like, but like the music's okay for what it is. It's very like, here's a low note, here's a high note. But like that bass, like it gets pretty thick when you're flying around, and you can turn it off if you want to hear the shitty whine of a fake jet. This game could be a lot worse, but also it is not good. If you know what I mean. I'm mostly frustrated that I tried to play it like I was actually dogfighting and doing a thing. And that's super not how you play this game. You're never going to get a good angle on a guy if you try to chase him, if you try to get him in your sights, if you try to dogfight, if for it to just be like, oh, just let him go. He'll come back around. They always come back around. And then have to deal with the oncoming confrontation over and over again, where they're going to shoot missiles, which again is a relatively afterburner coded kind of thing. But not done nearly as well here. This is not a great game. It is better than Cyberball. We can say that much. It is better than Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's better than Motor City Patrol. It is better than Best of the Best Championship Karate. You would take it over a Digger T. Rock, The Legend of the Lost City. It's a better game than Jack Nicklaus's Greatest 18 Holes of Major Championship Golf. Like, it's better than Alfred Chicken, but that doesn't feel like a great feat, so we're probably kind of getting close. It's better than The Last Starfighter. It's better than Target Renegade. The Pradicus Conflict is a better game. Star Voyager is a better game. This is our new number 523. Does that make it one of Imagineering's better games? I guess like Ghoul School and stuff like that is up quite a bit higher than that. So I guess that's probably not the case. But as far as games from your friends at Imagineering go, they've been worse. There you have it. At number 523, Stealth ATF. Gosh. All right, Umberto wanted to see this next game. And I said, that sounds rad. This game is unlicensed. It's Rad Racket Deluxe Tennis 2 from your friends at Idea Tech. What are we doing? It's like 9 different songs at 9 different tempos there. John Macaroni. Mark Chang is good at his ground strokes. Lisa Starr loves a volley. For a second there, I thought Lisa Starr was an elf because of the weird in the image behind her ears there. Fred Hoot. He's a fun guy. Loves to smash. Would you smash Fred Hoot? Libra Garcia. She keeps her backhand strong. And of course, Omar Strato. The baseline. I do like John Macaroni's shitty beard. But Fred Hoot. This is called Deluxe Tennis 2. I remember there was another unlicensed tennis game. Is this actually the sequel to that unlicensed tennis game? I just searched the name tennis on our list, and there are only 2 games with the word tennis in it: Jimmy Connors Tennis and Tennis. But there was another unlicensed tennis game that I remember being not great. And I'm not certain if this is meant to be a sequel to that or not. Let's go with Fred Hoot. Fred Hoot, occasional guest co-host of the Talkin' Shop podcast. All right. Grass court, Strawberry Field. I don't know if you know this, but Strawberry Fields is in San Jose. When he wrote that song, he was writing about San Jose, California. It's true. It's an excellent grassy West Coast court. A great place to start. But there's the clay court. The Sun Bowl State Court in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's the official size clay court built by Indians 200 years ago. Whoa. All right. What? Coincidence? You be the judge. Wait, what is the... All right. Let me think about this from a few, what? Because they built a clay surface that... What? Did Native Americans invent tennis in Flagstaff, Arizona? Is that the... All right, hard court, double mint court, Las Vegas, the most high-tech court in the country, also one of the most difficult. Let's go with Strawberry Fields. Dudes with Attitude. Nice ad on the back there. Big fun. Ooh, this ball drops weird. Why is that? What is happening here? Felt like I had a really good rally going there, and then... Was that out? Is that why? What? Yeah, so if it's hitting if it hits the middle of my body, I do have to kind of stand off to the side. Which I feel like this era of tennis, I would... Oh, you know what? Those are the buttons. The buttons are swing to the left of you, swing to the right of you. It's not like regular hit and then lob, like a sane video game would have. It's literally like a forehand, backhand kind of thing. Which I think is a terrible way to do this. Well, it's better than the game Dudes with Attitude. This feels off. Ugh. Catching it with my face. Big fun! It's a decent little tune. We've certainly heard worse music in unlicensed video games on this platform. Will it eventually make you insane? Of course it will. What a rat is on the court. What? This game's crazy. Do I get extra points for hitting the rat? What is happening? Why is there a rat on the court? I don't know why the controller occasionally like reconfigure. Like you see the emulation like halt for like a split second there when it is rereading the controller. You run nightly builds. You deal with the consequences. Tennis rat. Boom! Deuce on that ass. Wait, that went out? Why is that? That looked like it landed fine. I don't. Why are we? Yeah, that's right. See, what's the problem there? What happened there? Why is that bad? I smoked that motherfucker. I picked Fred Hoot, the Smash Man. He's here to smash. Finally. Yuck, a rat. I faulted because the rat is here. What is this rat doing? Fred Hoot will smash a rat. By that I mean by that I mean the same way wrestling has ring rats. I'm sure tennis has net rats? No, that... Fred Hoot's on a podcast talking all about it. this is fine. I don't know. Like, this is okay. Except for the part where every time I get close to the net, it does that. Oh, he hit it back. Oh, look at that. But every time I smash, which is supposed to be Fred Hoot's speciality, it seems like it's saying that I'm hitting it out, which does not seem to be the case. I feel like the ball is not going out, but maybe maybe my eyes are bad. It's like, what happened there? Outside. What do you mean? Like, that looks like it's hitting the ground and then bouncing out. I don't really get. Like, it's making a stuttery noise, so maybe it's like hitting the net or something, but I feel that shouldn't be a problem, right? Dude, I don't want to play any more tennis. Like, what happened there? It's just, it's not clear from looking at. All right. Man, I'm getting stuffed here. I'm playing risky. It's not paying off. But I don't care. Okay, inside. Okay, that counted. As I was going to say, because I'm right up against the net. There's no way that could be like landing on my side or anything like that. Bum, 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 bum. Feels like once you dial in this smash technique, it is a little rude. Are there any pickleball video games? I hope not. People don't need to be encouraged. Do you think you can interact with the tennis rat at all? Probably not, huh? I mean, it seems like it's always kind of far away. Like, I don't know that you would necessarily be able to hit the ball at the rat. I'm gonna keep trying this when it's his serve. I'll try that next time. Gotta get on the right side of it. History, I mean. I don't feel like I have any good control over aiming the ball. Like, that's kind of another thing that tennis games of this era do. See, that seems outside. Fuck you, man. You mean outside? You and the tennis rat. Oh, yeah! Dead rat! He hit the rat! But yeah, no stoppage of play. Like, oh, there's a rat. I got it, yeah. Not a lot of time to react to doing that. Bum, 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 bum. As far as games from your friends at American Video Entertainment, this is a playable, you know, hey, you could play this. It's got a little Dudes with Attitude ad in the back. Oh, I wonder if the different courts have different backgrounds or if they all just say the same. I bet they all say the exact same thing, don't they? I'm expecting too much. Outside, fuck you. Like, that part, though, is maddening. I don't really get the Smash stuff. Seems really weird. Yeah, you can just straight up fucking do that. Can you do that in actual tennis? Is that an actual... That seems like it would be frowned upon. At a minimum. I like that it's in-world pause. It's nice. It's nice. I'm into net play. No messing around with Fred Hoot. He just loves to smash. Yeah, just kind of a different color palette. Oh, do we get different music? What? This is way worse. This sounds like intro music that is still going for some reason. Like, oh, this should have stopped like 12 bars ago. Yeah, will there be rats on the... Douche. That's how you pronounce that, I think. Okay. Just want to see if there's a rat. Or like what else, you know, like what's coming for us on this high-tech court. There's a Roomba on the court. They invented the Roomba in this game. Decades before a real Roomba could exist. No, it's a rat. Hi, rat. Bye, rat. Okay, let's hear the other song. Clay court. Okay. 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 You know, it's fine. I don't know, like the tennis is acceptable. I think that's probably the nicest thing I could say about it is yeah, you know, you could do that. There are better tennis games on the platform, but none of them have Tennis Rat. I like that it has different music per court, but only one of the songs is truly good. So, you know, they kind of fuck you on that one. You can hit the rat. It does not kill the rat. The perspective or whatever is going on with smashes, with the overhead hits up close to the net, feels very broken. Those are shots that should be getting over the net, no problem. Like the look of them looks fine. It makes a different noise, and then it just says it's out. It was out, which doesn't seem possible. So I don't really have a good handle on what's happening there, but you have to be right up against the net if you want to do that shit. Feels like even if you're like a step back, then those smashes don't go well. You move around the court really fast in a way that feels broken. You move around the court in a way that feels like an Atari 2600 sports game, where it's just like no animation. You're just cruising around. You know, you compare that to something like Nintendo's own tennis game, which I think is a fine tennis game for the era, for sure. That game's a little more sluggish, a little bit, but the mobility here is interesting. Their choice to make a more of a forehand backhand with the A button being swing to the right and the B button swing to the left, I think is not a great, you know, like you'd rather have more options for shots, right? You'd rather have like a normal hit and then a lob. Instead, it just feels like you don't really have much control over the ball and where it goes. So when you're hitting the ball back to them, if you're not smashing, it's just another shot. Like, you know, there's nothing. It's lacking, I think, a lot of the key nuance of tennis games of this era, which would often give you those sorts of options, right? And that's probably the most damning thing about it, is that it just feels like a much too basic game of tennis. And so as much as it's fun to get lost in all of the accoutrement, the music, the rat. Oh, the rat. I think that those are pretty, and the ads on the background, dudes with attitude and stuff, like that's fun. But the game itself is extremely lacking. That's the ultimate problem with this, is that it's overly plain in a way that feels like that once you just kind of get dialed in, you could just volley forever, because you don't have enough like kind of lateral motion on your hits to kind of get into hitting it over here. Like it doesn't feel like that translates the way you want it to. And the characters move so quickly that it feels like you always have time to get lined up for a shot, unless you're smashing, and then it's coming in pretty hot, and you have to deal with that. But that's again, that whole system has its own issues, and so like all of that just doesn't come together the way you want. And it's a bummer, but like I don't know, for an unlicensed game, it's certainly better than the dregs of that list, right? It's no pyramid. It's certainly better than a Raid 2020, but it's like it's lacking all of the stuff that makes a tennis game into like it closes the loop of making it a competitive video game that you can play and enjoy. Like they missed all the nuance that makes this into a thing that maybe requires a little more skill or thought or something. Anything. That said, it does have that rat. It's pretty rad. So like it's better than Round Ball 2-on-2 Challenge. It's better than Legends of the Diamond. It's better than Magic Johnson's Fast Break. It's better than Platoon. It's no Ghoul School. It's no Cobra Command. It's better than Gemfire. It's better than Wizardry. It's not as good as Ultima Quest of the Avatar. It's our new number 449. What is the actual full title? It's Rad Racket Deluxe Tennis 2. Okay. And there you have it. Not a great game. Not a great game. All right, let's get into what will probably be our last game here. We'll see how this one goes. So is this just a... Wait. Sorry. I just need to figure out... Got it. Okay. Okay. That was a title that was used in the for the beta versions of this game, but not the final release. So I was confused there for a sec. This is another banger from your friends at FCI and Electronic Arts and Interplay, I suppose. It's The Bard's Tale. Oh, it does say Tales of the Unknown here on the title screen. Okay. This font is giving very unlicensed sci-fi game, the way they have written the word Tales of the Unknown here. You are in the Adventurers Guild. Great. You have no characters besides the ones in your party. Okay. Warrior, rogue, hunter, bard, sorcerer, wizard. Let's make a warrior. Do you want this character? There we go. Strength 17. I'll take it. His name is Warrior. I forget otherwise. Let's do, how many characters can we even have in a party? Looks like maybe we can store 3 names down there, if not 4. I mean, we should probably have a bard, right? It's Bard's Tale. Let's have a rogue. And let's assume it's 4. And we'll take a wizard. Oh, a wizard or a sorcerer? That's a weird... Vitality 3 is really the shits. We don't have time to sit here and re-roll characters all fucking day, but I feel like we can do better than that for sure. Was this a wizard or a sorcerer? Well, we're naming it Wiz either way. Another game with pooling gold and sharing gold and all of that stuff that, man, yeah, it's too much, man. Do you want to go on your adventure? Yeah, I guess, man. We're going to leave the guild. Kind of got Konami drums a little bit here, huh? Oh, it was a sorcerer, not a wizard. Whatever. Welcome to Drawn Blade. Who will speak with me? If you want to increase the level of your power, go to the Review Council. This is the Review Council. Do you want our judgment? Yeah, man. No. Warrior needs 20 more experience points. Thank you, Review Council. Okay. I get it. No, yeah, that rogue needs 20 more experience points. Yeah. Well, I hope I'll see y'all again. Shucks. That's weird. A moves forward. Why are there monsters in town? What? Whom 30 RC, 40 RC, 10 RC? I guess they'll attack. The orc. Do a bard song. You have no instrument. These guys start with nothing? Am I bare fisting like... Okay. Defeated it. Wait. Why did another orc appear? Oh, man. Defeated it. Oh, it's because the number's going down. This is still 6 fucking orcs that I gotta fight. And I bet I would whiff if I picked a... Can I just... Oh, I can attack myself? Interesting. Why would... Alright. I mean, it makes sense for spells. Image of Terror, or Battle Skill. I want to cast Image of Terror. It doesn't even have the dignity to tell me everyone in your party is dead. It just won't let me leave the guild. So I hit save. Can I just reload from when the party was alive? There's no load. Did they put this out without any kind of battery backup? Okay, no. Okay, they're still here. Yeah, so can I, how many people can we have at a party here? Let's make an actual wizard. I guess a hunter. I don't know. Yeah, you should register the party. Yeah. So I guess the party didn't save, but like the characters were still created, so it does have some battery backup thing. It didn't look like that was a place for me to buy gear. So I don't... There we go. Party on, Garth. Give me a broadsword. I'm sure you'll like it. Again, this is something that a lot of these early games did, and I hate it. The like, hey, you got to pool gold. You've got who wants to talk to me? Who wants to do this? That stuff makes me crazy. Give this bard a flute. I'm sure you'll like it. It's a weird burn. I don't know. No. Who will trade with me? Rogue. What does Rogue want? Pool gold. Buy an item. Short sword. Yes. Yes. Leather armor. Yes. No, Rogue doesn't want anything. Rogue is done. Trade. We didn't buy any armor for the warrior. You don't have enough gold because we need to go back here and hit pool gold. We're not gonna have enough money to put stuff on everybody at this rate if I keep buying all this good stuff. I'm sure you'll like it. I didn't pool my gold first. Oh. No, I didn't. Oh my god. Fumbling around the controller like a damn buffoon. We only have 190 gold. We're gonna buy a short sword for this hunter and fuck everybody else, man. I don't know. No staves for my wizard and not wizard. New order. Nice. No, this is... No. No. Y'all got any of that P combat? A just walks forward. B does this. Status, maybe? Can we... Equip. There we go. That's very blessed of this interface to allow me to equip both items without having to go back to the menu again. Oh, but now I need to do status. Hunter. Equip. Short sword. Oh, other members. Okay, so you need... This is... This is what I'm talking about, man. just leave. I feel like we could have made that building ours. We live here now. Over there, you see the tower of Kylo Ren. Check. Let's seal with the power of magic. So that's okay. All right. Ah! Here is a monster. 1 orc, 4 orc, 1 orc. Right, it's not 10 RC, 40 RC. Whom is a really weird thing to write on this screen. This is... Yeah, like, I applaud and I cherish that FCI decided to bring so many of these games to this platform, primarily for the Japanese audience, I think. But, Bard song. Bard lost his voice. Bard lost his voice. The Bard's tale is fuck the Bard. Strike him with an image of terror. What about you? What do you have? Gleam. Gross. Arc fire! Yeah, like even with all that armor, we're still taking 6-7 points of damage. It's kind of a... Oh, the hunter's just dead already. Oh, man. Hit him with your flute, you loser. Oh, I guess I didn't buy armor for the hunter, did I? You kind of wish you could button through these menus a little bit. There was a speed setting at the Adventurers Guild that perhaps would alleviate a little bit of this. 20 experience points for valor and battle knowledge. The survivors. So the hunter can S on a D, if you know what I'm saying. Here is a monster. Whom? 1 mad dog, 4 mad dog, 2 mad dog. The party is not ready for combat yet. I assume that's... Translation there is we got jumped. We rolled for initiative. And we're left wanting. Was this the way we came? It was not. The stone statue of a wizard stands in the way. What do you do? Check it out. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is fine. I'm sure that... What will warrior do? Fight the wizard. It's just a wizard that fucking popped out of a statue. I'm like, how, you know? What's the problem? Bard lost his voice. Man, you fucking suck. Cast a spell at the wizard. Give him some of that arc fire. Star Flare. That sounds like a low-level spell. Great. Yeah, that's right. 5 points of damage. What's a wizard got? Oh, no. Just hide. We live here now. Here is a monster. 2 goblin, 3 goblin, 1 goblin. Fuck you. Come on. 1 goblin, 2 goblin, 1 goblin. Here's a monster. 2 thief, 1 thief. Red thief, blue thief. Fucking kobolds, man. Hey, what's up? We got 20 XP. What about everybody? Oh, they're too busy being dead, so they can't be level 2 corpses. Bummer. Hey, can you I don't need medical treatment. Look, what does Hunter like? Hunter needs treatment. The fee is 300 gold. Oh yeah. Uh-oh, there isn't enough gold. What does Hunter like? What does Hunter like? What does Hunter like? You have 70 gold. Oh, did you go out there and die? It's 300 gold to bring one character back to life, maybe, I assume. Well, take care of yourself, Hunter. You're talking to a corpse, my friend. Hey, I was thinking of breaking up the party. What do you, these guys, okay, they're all still dead. You can't just... There's something about this like concept here that we're able to do that I just am philosophically against. And it's this idea that you are this like ship of Theseus party of just like there's no main character, none of it fucking matters. You're just like, oh, these guys are dead. Well, I mean, they're dead level 1 characters, so who gives a shit? So we can just dump them and make more dudes. The idea that I can just push like the make more Marines button and like spit out a different party, I think is dumb. It should just let me bring these characters back to life for free at that point, because the process of like, you should be able to revive level 1 characters for 0, right? At that point, because we're effectively doing the same thing, but with way more steps in the process. Once you've advanced in level and you've got gear and you've got spell, whatever, obviously experienced dead characters might be better than brand new level 1 characters, right? So there is a concept of a trade-off there that develops. But here at the beginning of the game, especially when you throw some kind of difficult fight, I don't know, like the fights are, we made it through a few fights. I probably should have backed off and healed because I'm sure that's cheaper than bringing characters back to life. But like, there's just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. If that makes any sense. That's the sort of thing that, and I'm wondering if resetting, if I should just recreate the party from scratch at all level 1, because who cares? Oh no, they're still dead. So when I said break up party, it saved everyone's status. It saved everyone's state, and so now they are all indeed dead. Like, I can just delete this character. The character he's lost forever. Dude's already dead. Who cares? You know? Like, and that's something that these games did back then, and it's not just exclusive to the NES version of Bard's Tale. Like, that's just a fucking thing, man. Of course, by deleting him, I lose his gear, right? Because they don't seem to give you a good way to peel gear off of dead bodies either. At some point, this is just something this is Warrior B. So because I can't. So let's get out of here and make sure. Can I? What's the bard status? Oh, he's dead, you say. Okay, so I can trade item and give everything to the rogue. Take off your equipment. God, fuck, man. No, just take it off. Like, you don't need to... So we'll go to the equipment menu with the bard, equip, unequip the flute, and then go to other members and go to rogue, and then trade item. No, we want to go to the bard and trade. Oh, all right. Anyway, you get the idea. Like, just the time it takes you to get up and running is already, when we think about other games on this platform and that sort of thing, like it's just so fucking slow, man. Bard's Tale is a cool game for its time, but this didn't come out in its time. This game kind of came out years after, you know. Bard's Tale as a computer game, as a seminal classic, whatever you want to lay on it, I think it probably deserves it for what it did in that era, right? But like this on the NES with the interface and all of that other stuff, I think becomes a much less appetizing game than the computer release. And yeah, there's definitely room for them to do more. You know, when you look at what they did with Ultima in terms of bringing Ultima to the platform, I think that there's more that they did that I think helps, man. So when we look at this list, I think, you know, you gotta go look at Ultima, which we still have Ultima games left to play, but you go look at Quest of the Avatar. I like this game is, Bard's Tale is no Quest of the Avatar. In fact, I might say Ultima Exodus is a better, like, is Bard's Tale better or worse than Ultima? This is like a really hard, like, mental fucking exercise, right? Because when you ask the question, is Ultima Exodus better or worse than Bard's Tale? It's it's, you know, you think about other versions of these games. Ultima is a slightly better game, but I think, you know, we're kind of laying similar issues at the feet of a lot of these games, and I think FCI did a lot. You know, they brought most of these games to the platform, and I think it makes sense in a way when you talk about like bringing these games to a Japanese audience. I think that's something really fascinating and almost noble. I mean, look at how popular Wizardry became in Japan and how crazy that is conceptually when you think about the origins of wizardry and you think about, you know, that, and wizardry is a franchise that doesn't really get its due here in the West, strangely enough. The NES version of wizardry has a million different problems and all that stuff. Like this is a separate conversation about the genuine article, the real actual thing, and you know, what wizardry was. You know, like it's kind of the dual conversation we end up having every time one of these computer style role playing games pops up here to get ranked. You know, The Bard's Tale is a classic, an absolute stone fucking cold classic. It is not always the easiest game to go back to. It's been a long time since I've seen a computer version of Bard's Tale, but I feel like that is a tricky game to return to all these years later. But I would say that about a lot of these games, because of a lot of the quality of life stuff that the genre got into in the decades that followed around this type of party management, around the various types of random encounters and how we think of random encounters as a society now. To go back through this cracked mirror, if you will, and look at these NES versions of these classic computer games is among the weirdest and most difficult things to apply the science to, because it is such a twisted conversation around what these things are and were and could be and aren't. And I look at this stuff and I look at the power of the platform that they had at their disposal. And on one hand, you can't fault them for trying to make an accurate port. In some of the cases, that's exactly what some of these developers did. And then you look at what Ultima kind of turned into when it came to the NES. And I think that's like a fascinating alternate history, right? About like, man, wow, what, you know, they consoleized it a lot more. Because, you know, Ultima, you know, they're expecting you to have a keyboard for most of those versions of those games. And so the inputs at your disposal, the shortcuts you can use to get through the pages and pages of cumbersome UI are sometimes substantial. And sometimes not. You know, honestly, like Pool of Radiance on the computer is smoother than the NES version in a few ways, but not so much that you'd notice. Because, again, that's the era. You know, this is the stuff that these games did then. And it's easy to look down on it now and say, dude, fuck this. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Dude, fuck this. I cannot go back to these games because of the choices that you know, that they made then, that were very sensible then, that have been ironed out in the decades that followed for role-playing games across all platforms. That is a big part of the reason why I find it so impossible to come back to some of these games. Some of these games that I, you know, would have and in fact did spend hundreds of hours playing as a kid, you know, like something like a Pool of Radiance and, you know, like a lot of the gold box games for sure. Bard's Tale a little less so. I don't have quite the same love for original Bard's Tale as I do for some of that old business, but it's hard to go back to that old business these days. So yeah, I don't think, you know, like it's hard in some ways because it feels like a little weird to put a Bard's Tale game because it's Bard's Tale and how beloved that franchise was at one point. It kind of fell, I mean, I don't know, like, you know, they made, what was the last Bard's Tale game that came out? It kind of was that weird thing. Is that where they made like the point and click kind of adventure with like Bard's Tale 4? Yeah, okay. Did they do that XBLA Bard's Tale game? Did that come out? Or am I thinking of something? Anyway, it's neither here nor there. I think it's a case where this is below Ultima Exodus, but it's not like a dramatic drop. It is definitely in the same league as some of this stuff. Like, it's better than Wayne Gretzky Hockey. It's better than Bases Loaded 2. It's better than Impossible Mission 2. Impossible Mission and Impossible Mission 2 are games that I wish that I had legitimate copies of instead of getting pirated copies with no manual. Because Impossible Mission, the first game, is just complicated enough that, like, I spent hours playing it having really no idea what I was doing. You get these puzzle pieces, you get this different stuff, and you're like, I don't no fucking clue what the fuck I'm doing. These robots are zapping the shit out of me. And so there's like, you know, there's a segment of people that are somewhere around my age that did have that experience of being able to play that game the way it was supposed to be played and all that other stuff. And they have, like, I have a love for Impossible Mission, but it's mostly based on the audio and how smooth the animation was for its time. Like, there's something about actually playing that game to completion that I'm just like, what the fuck? But the people who were able to piece all of that together, either because they had the patience for it or they were able to get a hold of the manual, one way or the other, they're a different breed. That's for sure. Bard's Tale is better than Widget. It's better than the Cryon Conquest. It's no Bases Loaded 4. It's our new number 508. The Bard lost his voice. You motherfucker. And there you have it. That's going to do it for this week. The Bard's Tale, 699 games on the list. If you want to see the whole list, you can go to 8bitnintendo.science. That's the number 8. It's not spelled out. There's a hot list there that has links to all of the videos in this ongoing franchise of videos with timestamps that get you to every single game if you want to see all that stuff. And of course, if you want to suggest games for the list, you're running out of time. Head over to jeff.zone for more details on how to support this insane endeavor. I know what's coming next now. There are a couple of things, actually, that are kind of on the table that we'll be getting into perhaps simultaneously. But yes, and the porn games. Yes, we will do. I will record a separate, probably not live, or maybe I'll go live on the Discord, or I don't know. Like I'll record something with the 2 porno games and either upload that directly to Patreon or to archive.org, depending on how porny the porn games are. And then we'll have that as kind of a bonus episode just to make sure they get on the list, because obviously I can't play those games on twitch.tv or upload the archives to YouTube. So yeah, we'll get those done for sure. In the meantime, have a great weekend. A big weekend for the professional wrestling. I'm looking forward to AEW Revolution. And also looking forward to playing a ton of Marathon, which has been fucking fantastic. Though after the patch, it seems way more brutal in a weird way. They extended the range from which you can hear gunfire. And the working theory is that made it so anytime anyone hears gunshots, every single player descends upon that fight. And so everything just becomes like almost a little too cutthroat. It was a little bit smoother pre-patch. It seems real weird. post patch that way. And they should fix that. Because it was a better balance of like quiet and loud before, whereas now I was playing with a group last night and it was just like every time anyone had to fire a gun, the whole thing fucking went nuts. And it was too much. It's too hot. It's hotter than the game probably needs to be. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I will see you next week for the podcast. We'll talk more about it there, I'm sure. Have a good one. Good night.